Aspen HYSYS software. So everybody knows Aspen Plus and Aspen HYSYS software, right? Okay. So this is one of the best software in the process simulation field. So you find there are other softwares also, but current market across the globe is occupied by Aspen Plus and Aspen HYSYS in the majority amount. So even though there are other good softwares are also there, like ChemCAD, then ProSim is there, Unisim is there, is there, and also open source softwares are also there, like DWSim. So I hope these things about process flow sheeting and modeling using Aspen Plus is covered in the morning section. We will cover today unit operations in Aspen Plus and Aspen HYSYS. Okay, so I will go a little slowly because I come to know that you don't have software, and it will be easy for you to trace me as per what I'm doing over here on my screen, and you can gain that experience over here by looking at the screen. Okay. So I have opened two windows. So first is Aspen Plus, and another is Aspen HYSYS. So this is the HYSYS software. So moreover, the interface looks almost the same, but let's see one by one. Just hold on, there is a background noise. Okay. So this is the Aspen Plus software, and this is Aspen HYSYS software. So moreover, the interface looks the same. There is a slight difference is there, because Aspen HYSYS was a different software initially, and the Plus was a different software. So the process engineering point of view, we have the different softwares initially, and later in after 2005, Aspen Aspen Technology has acquired this Aspen HYSYS software. Okay, and they have merged this software into single single bunch of software, I would say, because Aspen software contains a number of softwares. I think it's already covered, so I will just go through it. So we have Aspen HYSYS and Aspen Plus. It means that two simulation softwares are there in a same kind of a bunch of software. There are other softwares also when you install Aspen software. So along with that, you have exchanger design and rating. Okay, so Aspen heat exchanger design and rating, this software. After that, we have other software like adsorption, Aspen adsorption. You can simulate adsorption columns, then batch process development and chromatography, and so on. Dynamics are also there. Okay. So we will not cover all this because this is a kind of very big software, and it contains number of sub softwares. Okay, it's not just a process flow sheeting software. It contains a number of sub softwares. Okay, so it's a huge software, and everything cannot be covered in just a single session. We will focus more on Aspen HYSYS and Aspen Plus. Okay. So here, so I will just add some of the components in order to go to the process simulation software. So I will just add methanol and water. So what we will do, we will cover one by one. we will cover one by one unit operations using ASPAN HYSYS and ASPAN Plus. Okay. So for simplicity, I will first go to the ASPAN HYSYS. So what is our experience is that ASPAN HYSYS software is somewhat difficult to understand in terms of user interface point of view. Okay. So we'll cover first ASPAN HYSYS and later on move to the ASPAN Plus. So I guess these things are already covered, how to add component and fluid package and etc. So after clicking on this add tab, so you have on the right hand side all the components, those are listed. Here is a huge list of all the components. You can see. Here, if you like, you can just type some component, for example, methanol. Okay, and you can enter. You can either enter or you can either click on this add. So the selected component will go on the left hand side. Similarly, I can type water. Okay. So after adding component, you can see the folder icon is become tick mark as a OK icon, as a right icon, and those things, those are missing or those are not completely filled, it is shown by red, half red circle like this. So we have not mentioned till the fluid package. Let's go to the fluid package and mention the fluid package. Okay. So you can add it. You can click on add, and you can select the appropriate fluid package. So for this case, I will select NRTL. If you don't understand how to select the fluid package, you can take the help of method assistant. It will suggest you to what kind of a package has to be given for a particular type of a component system. Otherwise, you can have the literature on this also. There are literatures. If you do not understand what type of components what type of components which package has to be selected, then you just generally refer any research paper in which they have done the simulation which contains those components. Okay. So after adding the fluid package, you can see this icon is become this red has vanished, and this is the property tab has become okay. Currently we are in property tab. So there are various tabs over here. These are main tabs. Under these tabs we have the various folders. If I switch to simulation, the area over here, the folders in this region, it will change. Similarly, we have the safety analysis and energy analysis. For simulation point of view, flow sheeting simulation point of view, we will only the simulation we will cover in this discussion. Okay. So we'll move to the simulation. Let me save this simulation. Now, so after adding, after moving to this simulation tab, you can see on the left hand side, the folders, all the folders have been changed. You have this right hand side area, which is the white lens side. It's a blank space for the simulation. And the window that is opened over here, these are the palette window. Okay, so these are the palette window. By using this window, you can add the number of unit operations, heat transfer unit operation, mass transfer, separators, reactor, and so on. If you would like to see, you can search over here a particular unit operation like a distillation or a heat exchanger, or you can look at particular tab or palette for which what is the description. Okay, so you can maximize this and you can move to any particular tab and just click on this particular tab, and you have to go to the left hand side top and select this description over here. So this is a kind of rectangular icon. You can select a description. So after selecting description, you can see the description of the various palettes. For example, separator. Even though this is separator, what is its use in order to separate vapor liquid separation? Second tab, 3-phase separator. Here you can select, you can see, so we have 2 liquid phases and 1 vapor phase that can be separated. And there is a tank, distillation column, blank columns, and there are various types of columns are there. So we'll see one by one as we cover. So they have bunched these things as per the kind of particular kind of a bunch, like a reactor, separator, and so on. So here we have, after clicking on this all, we have all the tabs. Those are opened at the in a single kind of a window. Okay. So here, so what we will do, we will add a single stream. The basic purpose of the discussion is to get familiar with what are the unit operations those are involved. Okay, so we will start with a heat exchanger. Let us go to the heat exchanger and see what are the different types of heat exchanger those are available. Okay. So we have the tab that is called as the heat transfer. We have the tab that is called as heat transfer. In the heat transfer tab, there are various types of heat exchangers are available. The first is a heater, and there is a cooler, then heat exchanger, fired heater, air cooled heat exchanger, LNG exchanger, and plate heat exchanger. So those and you can select based on your requirement. So what is the particular type of model those are required for your process? Okay. So mainly what we will do, we will discuss about what are the different models and when those has to be used for a different application. Okay. So first is a heater. So here we add the energy stream to the particular fluid. Okay, it means that we will increase the temperature of the process fluid. That's what we have to select the heater. In other case, cooler is there. In the cooler, we can select the outlet stream. The temperature will be reduced when you select a cooler. It means that heat is removed when you select a cooler. Then we have the heat exchanger. So here, 2 streams are required. Into this heater, we require only 1 inlet stream and only 1 outlet stream. Utility streams are not required in this heater as well as cooler. So here simply you will get the duty of the heat exchanger. Duty of the heat exchanger will get for example, if you would like to increase the temperature from T1 to T2 based on the fluid properties, Aspen HYSYS will calculate how much of energy will be required in order to increase the temperature or change the phase of the system, change the phase of the fluid. So here only the energy we will get the energy requirement. But by using the heat exchanger, this icon, like a shell and tube heat exchanger, so this acts as a shell and tube heat exchanger. Two streams are required, two inlet streams, two exit streams. So there will be a transfer of the heat between the two streams, cold stream and hot stream. Heat transfer will be there, and ultimately you will get what will be your utility fluid requirement. Utility fluid requirement means whether it is a cooling water, or whether it is the steam, or it may have the any thermic fluid also, the type of thermic fluid for the high temperature services. So heater and cooler, those are thermodynamic heat exchangers. They perform a thermodynamic calculation for the output streams. Those are attached to the heater or cooler. So we have to specify that what is the temperature required. Okay, based on the inlet conditions and the delta P, we are able to calculate the heat load, the energy requirement. We can calculate the energy requirement. Okay. In the shell and tube heat exchanger, this icon, simply they wrote the heat exchanger, and in the description they have mentioned that shell and tube heat exchanger. So it is used for the heat exchanger design, shell and tube heat exchanger. So this model will be used in the case of a detailed design of the shell and tube heat exchanger. In the current version of Aspen HYSYS and Plus, they have embedded the exchanger design and rating software. So as I showed you earlier, that Aspen heat exchanger design, so there is another dedicated software. You will get the detailed design of a heat exchanger, number of tubes, then flange, even mechanical design also you will get in the into the EDR software. So shell and tube heat exchanger uses different kind of calculation method as compared to heater and cooler. So it may require a different calculation method. It is actually based on the different calculation method. Like for example, when you do the hand calculations, you require FT correction factor and all this. So those things are calculated into this heat exchanger. Okay. Then we have the fired heater. Fired heaters in the refineries, in the petroleum refineries, fired heaters are used in order to, in general, heat the crude oil by using a gas or some kind of equivalent fuel. So it does a kind of a furnace calculations. So direct heater, direct fired heater, it's a furnace. The tubes are directly exposed to the flame. Tubes are directly exposed to the flame. So when we are having direct exposure of those flame to the tubes, in that case, the calculation methodology is different. We have to consider the radio to heat transfer also. So here, by using this fired heater, you can simulate the field temperature via fuel combustion. You can calculate the, based on the calorific value, the fuel combustion also. You have to specify the type of fuel over here. Using this air cooler, this is general air coolers, you might be knowing. Air cooled heat exchangers, in general it is called air cooled heat exchangers. So air cooled heat exchanger units are ideal mixture of air that is considered as a heat transfer medium to heat or cool a process fluid, process stream. So externally there will be a air stream. So this may be induced force draft based on the requirement. And inside the tubes may be finned. Of course, the usually two tubes are finned. The air-cooled heat exchanger, the heat transfer, because air is external environment, external fluid, which is freely available. So here, based on the ambient conditions, the heat transfer takes place based on the ambient temperature as well as process stream temperature, and we can model the air cooler by using this palette. Okay. Then we have the LNG heat exchanger. So what is the use of this LNG heat exchanger? So model heat transfer for a multi-stream heat exchanger. So when we are having a multiple number of streams, okay, and multiple inlet stream and multiple outlet streams. Usually it is used in the refinery, liquefied natural gas, and so this model essentially performs the same calculation as that of the heaters and coolers. But the limitation to the thermodynamic calculation that the output stream will have a kind of limited data. Okay. So this device can handle multiple process streams, both hot as well as cold. So we do not need to have the energy stream. Usually, I don't know whether it is already covered. So for any heat transfer equipment in the Aspen HYSYS, we have to add the energy stream. Like our physical process streams, we have to provide the energy stream also. So here, it's not required. Okay, and there will be heat transfer between the hot stream as well as cold stream. Then we have the plate heat exchanger. So we can, you might be knowing the plate heat exchanger. It's readily used in the industry for heat transfer purpose. So it's very simplified kind of heat exchanger that is provided into this Aspen HYSYS software. The detailed design you can find in the EDR, exchanger design and rating software. Okay. So we'll not cover all the details. We'll cover just small details because everything you cannot cover in this. So for simplicity, what I will do, I will just add a heater over here. And we have to add the process streams. Okay. So we can connect this inlet stream and outlet stream to this block. By default, we have the name of this heat exchanger as the E100. So in order to input the data, you have to open the stream number 1. We can change the stream name by typing over here. You have to provide some basic data in order to converge the stream. So here in the flow sheeting software, it is very important that every object has to be converged, get converged. Okay. So temperature will be provided. Temperature, let us consider it is almost 30 degrees Celsius. The pressure is 200 kilopascal. And flow rate is, let us consider 1000 kg per hour. So based on the input you provide, it will show you the kind of a message that this data is incomplete. So initially it was in red color, this strip was in red color. Now it is become a yellow. It means that we have to provide the additional data. Okay. So it's showing over here that unknown composition. In order to provide the composition, I have to move to this composition tab on the left hand side. So open the composition. by default, we have the mole fraction data that is provided, should be provided. But we can provide in terms of other basis. You can change the basis like a mass fraction, volume fraction, liquid volume fractions, molar flow rate, mass flow rate, and liquid volumetric flow rates. Okay. So we'll consider the mass fraction. Here you can type the percentage or the fractions. Currently it is empty. At the bottom you can see there is a 00. So as you add, it will show you how much of summation of all the streams will be there, all this data will be there. So mass fraction should be, summation of mass fraction should be 1. In some cases, there is a normalized tab over here. In some cases, you have a very large number of components. When you are having hydrocarbon gas mixture, there will be like a methane, ethane, propane, water, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and so on. So many gases are there. So the client sometimes provide the limited data, like range of the data will provide, and some of the values they will ask you to assume based on the literature or based on your experience. In that case, so this summation will not go to the, it will not be is equal to 1. In that case, you can just click on this normalize tab and it will adjust the fraction of all the components to in such a way that the summation will be equal to 1. Okay. Now you can see after clicking on this OK tab, your bottom composition, bottom strip become green. So it will show the message as OK. So it means that we have provided the enough information in order to get converge this stream. So this object has been converged. So after converging, it will change its color from this light blue to dark blue. It means that we have to provide additional data in order to converge these two objects. One is a heater and another is a stream. Okay. So I can close this tab. And we'll move to the heater. So energy is provided. We have to provide some data in order to get convert this thing. So here, this is the inlet stream, stream number 1. There is outlet stream. And there is the empty tab. It shows there is no name is over here. And in this message box over here requires an energy stream. So energy stream for any heat transfer equipment, we have to provide the name. There is a customary in Aspen HYSYS that the energy requirement or energy transfer from one object to the another object. So that will be considered in terms of some kind of a name, and that name we call it an energy stream. Okay. So here I will give just a simply Q. So after providing this name, that is the energy as a Q, you can see that this object is become somewhat gray in color and there are yellow lines over here. Still it is not converged. It means that still it is not converged. We have to provide further data. Partial data is provided in order to convergence. In order to have convergence, we have to provide further data. So in the message here, it is showing that unknown delta P. So to provide the delta P, because every equipment will have the some kind of a delta P, less or more. Some pressure drop will be there. That pressure drop has to be provided. It may not be a heater, will not be a kind of a hypothetical operation. For example, if you are going to install electrical heater inside a tank, electrical heater inside a tank, in that case there is no utility fluid or utility medium like a steam or a thermic fluid. We have to provide the electrical energy in order to heat the liquid, but the tank will have a certain kind of a delta P, or the equipment will have a certain kind of a delta P. So that delta P we have to provide. So in order to provide the delta P, on the left hand side there is the parameter tab. In the parameter tab at the top we have the delta P. We can specify the delta P. So let us consider that there is a 10 kilopascal of delta P there. Okay, so we have specified the delta P. Again, it is showing that unknown duty. It's showing that the message showing that unknown duty. Now here there are various kind of information we can provide in order to get converge this simulation or this palette, this heater. So what kind of information you can provide? I would like to increase the temperature of the stream, so from 30 degrees Celsius to, let us consider 70 degrees Celsius. In order to do that, either I have to provide the delta T, I can provide the delta T, I can provide the outgoing stream temperature, or I can provide the duty also. By using these three specifications, either of these three specifications, I can let this heater get converged by any of these three specifications. Okay. For example, if I add delta T, what will be the delta T? So 30, 70, 70 minus 30, it will be 40. If I specify 40, it got converged. Okay. It got converged. And the energy requirement is calculated. The energy requirement is calculated. Outgoing stream temperature also you can see by either clicking on this stream, or if you can, here you can see that this is a 70 degrees Celsius, or you can see itself in the palette tab here. So if you go to the worksheet tab, there is design tab, there is a worksheet tab. In the worksheet tab, we can see the stream number 2. Every stream has been mentioned over here. Stream number 1, stream number 2. So for stream number 2, that temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. There is energy stream over here. So energy requirement for this heater will be 1.5 into 10 to the power 5 kilojoule per hour. Kilojoule per hour. Okay. Instead of specifying the temperature difference, I can specify directly the temperature also. Okay. If you go to the worksheet tab, and this is empty space over here, I can specify 70 degrees Celsius. Okay. So simulator will calculate the delta T over here. Or I can specify the energy of this stream also, energy requirement for this fluid. So I will delete this 70 degrees Celsius. I can specify energy either over here, or I can specify energy over here also. Excuse me, it was 1.5 10 to the power 5 kilojoule per hour. So it was some digits were there, so I have not included those digits, and that's why this delta T was somewhat lesser than that of your 70 degrees Celsius. Or in other words, I can do in a reverse way. So I have calculated this energy requirement. Copy it. It is not getting pasted. Yes, now after putting this energy number over here, duty, how much of duty has to be there, it has automatically calculated the temperature difference. And over here in this worksheet tab, you can see the temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. What you can observe, whatever the data you are providing, user provided data is shown by bold blue color. This data is provided by me. And calculated data by the software, it is shown by the non-bold black color. Okay, non-bold black color. Right. And other things like a property, you can see properties of each stream like a density, viscosity, thermal conductivity, heat capacity, mass entropy. All the number of properties things are over here. Volume, volumetric flow rate, latent heat of vaporization, it on the molar basis, on the mass basis, and so much data is provided over here. Okay. So we have limited time. We will not go in such a detail. So I hope you understand about the heat transfer operation in this ASPAN HYSYS. Now let's move to the ASPAN Plus. So this is another software, simulation software. We will try to understand the same thing in the using ASPAN Plus. So already I have selected two components. So there is again over here a property tab, simulation tab, safety and energy. On the left hand side we have these components, and method has to be provided. If you don't understand that where we have to move from the current position of yours on this particular page, then simply you can click on the next tab over here. So it will take you to the next input. So next input will be your methods. So method has to be specified. So click on the specification. Here again you can take the help of method assistant. Then there will be a base method. So let us select NRTL. Okay. Click on next. So it will show you the binary interaction parameter, those are available. And you can click on run. So the property data and property tab, after running this simulation, after running this property simulation, it will get complete in every aspect. And later on we have to move to the simulation tab. Sometimes it will take some calculation time. It will be somewhat different every time based on the number of components and the type of method. Yeah, results are available. How we can see results are available? On the left hand side bottom, you can see whatever the software message it is displayed over here. We can see the software message that the results are available. We can see the results, or we can move to the next tab, that is simulation tab. We'll move to the next simulation tab. So this is the blank space. This is a blank space. On the left hand side, the folders has been changed, and here you have the main simulation window. What we can do, at the bottom there are different palettes they have mentioned. Unlike your Aspen HYSYS, they have mentioned the palettes at the bottom. Okay. Starting from mixture, then we have the separator, heat exchanger, column, reactor, pressure changers. Pressure changer means anything: pump, compressor, valves, pipes, pipeline, etc. So there will be a manipulators which will be used in order to manipulate some kind of variable, like a single stream. We can duplicate it by using this duplicate tab. Okay. Then there are solid operations. Then separators are there, solid separators. Batch models are there, like batch distillation, batch crystallizer, and those are user models also you can specify. Okay. Here we have the same type of heat exchangers. Okay. Heater. So this icon, it acts as a heater also as well as cooler also. It will do a kind of a dual job. So thermal, it will be used for the thermal and phase state changer. Like you can change the phase also by using this item. And model heaters, coolers, condenser, etc. By using this, you can do a shell and tube heat exchanger kind of thing calculations. So it will have a 2 inlet stream and 2 outlet streams. This will have a multiple inlet streams like LNG heat exchanger. So this will act as LNG heat exchanger. And we have the heat flux. So heat transfer calculation model. It's kind of a user block, and it is a kind of customized user block for the heat transfer calculation. Now, in order to give the idea about heater, we will take this icon. We have to just drag simply from this palette item to the main flow sheet, drag and drop. You can increase the size. We have to provide inlet stream and outlet stream. Energy stream is not required. Material stream has to be provided. So I will drag the material stream and connect to this red icon. So you can look at, as I drag this to the main flow sheet, it will show you the red kind of arrows. So red arrow indicates that these are compulsory connection has to be provided in order to convert your simulation or this palette. So connect this tab, feed, then outlet, product stream is required. Okay, and there is another stream like water decantation. Water decantation means a kind of free water when we are having immiscible phases, and the one of the phase is water. In that case, you can decant the water continuously from the heat exchanger. Like a condenser, you have the decantation stream, decantation process. Okay, so realistically, in the industrial purpose, at the industry, in the industry, we have a separate vessel that is provided which act as a decanter to separate hydrocarbon phase and aqueous phase. So if you would like to do the same kind of a thing in a single type of a palette, then you can add this pre-water or decantation of water from the heater or cooler. So by default, it has considered this stream number S1 and S2, or you can just give this. You can change the name by double clicking on this. Okay. And this is your name of the block. This is the name of the block. You can drag and keep it near to the block. You can rename it to, let us consider, heater. Okay. So next step is to add stream data. We have the feed stream. Generally, feed stream data should be added. By adding the data, this stream will be provided to the heater, and heater will do a calculation. Heater will calculate the heat duty that is required in order to raise the temperature or in order to change the phase. So to add the data, you can click on the stream and double click on the stream. There are two ways. Either you can double click on the stream, or on the left hand side there are folders, various folders. So there is a stream folder. If you click on this small triangle over here, it will show you what are the streams available on this flow sheet. There is a feed stream. You can click on the feed stream, and this feed stream, it will open. Okay. Here you have to provide temperature, pressure, or there is a vapor fraction. So either of these three things, you have to provide any of the two. The third will be automatically calculated. If I provide the temperature and the pressure, vapor fraction will be calculated. Or if I provide the vapor fraction and the pressure, temperature will be calculated. So when you provide the vapor fraction, it will do a kind of, if you remember, you have the TXY diagram based on the phases. Okay, phase diagram. So based on the TXY diagram, you can calculate whether it is the vapor phase, whether it is a liquid phase, or it is a two-phase mixture, right? So we will provide the same data as according to our what we put earlier into the Suspan HYSYS. So consider it is 30 degrees Celsius and pressure is 200 kilopascal. We can change the unit. kPa. And either you can provide mass flow rate, molar flow rate, standard volume, and the volume in general. Usually it is used for the liquid. Okay. So let us specify only the mass flow rate. So it is 1000 kg per hour. You can change the unit over here in terms of pound, tons, etc. So composition you can provide on the right hand side in terms of a mass flow rate, molar flow rate, standard volumetric flow rate, mass fraction and mole fraction, standard volume fraction, and sometimes in terms of a concentration in terms of a mass concentration as well as molar concentration. So this molar concentration and mass concentration, those are not available in the HYSYS. Those are available in the plus only. So let us specify the mass fraction. So we have the 50% of methanol and 50% of water. Okay, 50% of methanol and 50% of water. At the bottom, you can see the total is equal to 1. On the left hand side, you can see this red color has been vanished. So data is provided is okay. We have to provide further data. You can click on next item in the next tab. So this is a heater block. Either you can, again the same thing, either you can click on this heater block, or you can go to the desired folder of a block. Okay. Here we have the temperature flash type. Heater is there, flash type. We have different data, different information we can provide in order to have the convergence. Here in the Aspirant Plus, it will not show what is the error or a kind of a next input that is required. On the left hand side, just it will say that required input incomplete. Okay. So we'll provide the temperature that is required, that is 70 degree, okay. And pressure, we have a 200 kilopascal. Let us consider the delta P of 10 kilopascal. So we have the 190 kilopascal of pressure. So after providing these two inputs, temperature as well as pressure, so this folder has become okay. It means that required input complete. On the left hand side, you can see that required input is complete. So either you can provide the duty like HYSYS, either you can provide the temperature change, either you can provide the duty, you can provide the vapor fraction, superheating and subcooling, degree of superheating and degree of subcooling. So that also can be done. Okay. So this simulation. On the left hand side, no folder is in the red color. It means that all the data I provided for this process flow sheet is right, and there is no incomplete input. It means that we can run the simulation. So how we are going to run the simulation? Either we can move to the home tab and click on this next tab or run tab over here, or you can place F5 on your keyboard, or even you can at the top you can see these small icons. There is a next tab, or there is a run tab over here. You can press F5 also. Okay. So if I click this next tab, it will show you the message: required input is complete. All required input data is complete, and the simulation is ready for the run. So it will ask you to run the simulation now. You can click on OK. So after running the simulation, so this panel will open, this window, new window will open. Here, this window is for the control panel. So whatever software is doing at the background, a kind of a thing. So it will show you the information over here. It will be kind of logs are generated in order to look at user, so that it will figure out what are the problems or what software is actually doing at the background. So like the simulation start at this time, date, and input specification, table generation. Then calculation begins for this block. Okay. Then results are generated, simulation calculations completed, no warning is issued, no errors are issued. Okay. So it means that on the left hand side you can see also everything is okay, results are available. If any warning or any kind of error will be there. This will be kind of red. This will be red in color. And you have to rectify the error in order to convert the simulation. Otherwise, the wrong data will be provided. Results will be totally wrong. Okay. Now, this tab, on this tab, where to see the results? Either I can move to the heater tab, okay, or I can see the results into the folder also. So go to the folder, blocks, there will be heater, and the heater at the bottom we have the results. So there is the results over here. You can click on this results. In the results, the data is generated. Outlet temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. Pressure is this much. Vapor fraction is 0. It means it is totally in the liquid form. Heat duty. So we have the heat duty. We can change the unit also. Right. It is the same heat duty as that of your HYSYS. So 1.5 lakh kilojoule per hour. And this is the net heat duty. So based on the direct and indirect calculation, it will calculate the heat duty as well as net heat duty that is required. So if you have the in this case also there will be kind of energy stream, heat stream will be there. And when you connect a kind of external energy stream to the heater, it will show you the net heat duty required and heat duty based on the stream calculations. Okay, stream delta T. So that's what the heat duty and net duty difference is. And here will be like a first liquid, then total liquid. The fraction over here, we have only one phase of the liquid. Then delta P correlation, if you provide in the delta P correlation initially in the input tab, so that correlation will be also shown over here. And delta P of 0.1 bar it's shown over here. It means that 10 kilopascal of delta P that we have already provided. Okay. And the other tabs like balance, phase equilibrium, so those are auxiliary tab. It will show you the material balance as well as energy balance across the block. So enthalpy balance and mass balance and mole balance. So input should be input is equal to output. Okay. So this kind of simulation we can do. We can't cover all the simulation. For understanding purpose only, I am showing you the some detailed simulation. Mainly, we'll cover what are the tabs available. Excuse me. And for unit operation point of view, which tab is useful in order to do a particular type of a simulation or the kind of a task or the separation unit operations. Okay. Now, next is the separator. Here in the HYSYS, we will cover measure of the pallets. In the HYSYS, you can see there is a separator tab. So here are separators. It means that these tabs are used for the separation of either vapor liquid or liquid liquid or a homogeneous mixture, not just a heterogeneous mixture, but homogeneous mixture of the components. Single phase. Okay. So first is the separator. Separator is used for the separation of vapor liquid and separation of vapor and liquid phases. It can support multiple phases also. if you'd like to separate vapor as well as liquid in a single vessel, so you can use this separator. Then we have this three-phase separator, two liquid phases as well as one single vapor phase you can separate. Like a decantation in the industry, we have these decanters. So organic phase, aqueous phase as well as vapor phase, we can separate by using this three-phase separator. Then we have this tank. Sometimes it is called as a surge tank also. A single input and two outputs are there. The calculations are same as that of the separator, but here divides vessel content into vapor and liquid phases. Okay, so it acts as same as that of a separator, but the icon is just simply different, and we can calculate the difference, the vapor as well as liquid flow rates from the tank, and it can be used for the surge vessel. This can be used for the surge vessel. Now fourth dab is the distillation column. Into this distillation column, you can see this is a rigorous distillation column. It means on the every stage, component balance, mass balance, enthalpy balance is done. And in general, for the simulation, in order to do the simulation of the distillation column, we use, it's kind of a general distillation column, rigorous distillation column. We use this tab generally when we do the simulation, industrial simulations. It contains subflow sheet also, attached condenser, and there is a reboiler also. And it can support a side streams. Side stream in terms of you can add not just one feed stream, you can add multiple feed stream also. And you can take out multiple side stream also. Like in the industry, we have the pump arounds, right? So stream from the bottom is taken out. Sometimes heat is exchanged, and it is it puts on the top stage. Okay, after the heat exchange. So pump around, that is, we call it as a pump arounds. So that is also supported in this distillation columns. Then there are a lot of number of different columns are there. Those are auxiliary columns, like blank column. So it's kind of a empty column sub flow sheet that can be configured with a side operation, condenser, and reboiler. So it will have just a column. Like this is by default, we have the condenser and the reboiler at the bottom, and there is a column. So three things are there. In this blank column, you will get just initially a simple column. If required, you can add condenser, then a reboiler if you like, and of course the side stream. But initially, you will have just a blank column. It will do the same job as that of a distillation column, like a rigorous calculation it will do. But it is up to you whether you would like to add the condenser or reboiler based on your requirement. Because in the industry, column always don't have the condenser and reboilers. Okay, so we can model those things in terms of the blank column. But in the distillation column, it is customary that it is necessary that you should have the condenser as well as reboiler. Okay. Then there is a component splitter. So here component those are split based on the some kind of a fraction, like a split fraction. Okay, based on the input feed stream, how you are like to split the feed stream in terms of a different outlet streams. This is not a distillation column. It's just a hypothetical kind of operation. Okay, so it's a hypothetical operation where you would like to split the components into multiple product streams. Okay, based on the whatever the feed stream that you provide, right? So sometimes we use when we are having kind of a hypothetical operation that is required, or a kind of operation that cannot be modeled by using any of the unit operations which are available in the ASP.NET HYSYS, those you can model using this component splitter. Then we have absorber. Everyone knows what is the absorber. Then reflux absorber. So what is the difference? The reflux absorber contains the condenser at the top. It means that whatever the vapor stream is there, it is a partially condensed, and part of that it is sent to the column. Okay, so that is called as the refluxed absorber. Then we have the reboiled absorber. In other words, we can have the another name that is called as a stripper. Okay, stripper. At the bottom we have the reboiler, and by using this reboiler we can provide the extra energy to the bottom outlet stream, and we can allow to pass high temperature fluid stream again back to the column. So this is called as a reboiled absorber. Okay. Then we have the shortcut column. Everybody knows there is a method for the multi-component distillation. There is a shortcut method. Underwood, Gilliland, Penske equation is there. So that can be used to find the minimum number of stages, minimum reflux ratio, based on the light key and the heavy key that we would like to separate in the distillation column. So this is a shortcut distillation column restricted to a simple refluxed columns. This should be used only for the initial calculations. It will not give you the rigorous calculations. So for more details, you can refer to Paris Chemical Engineers Handbook. And rest of the other columns, if you see the refining, rest of the other columns. So this is the refinery column, and this is the crude stripper column. So these are all columns which are used in the refineries, like a vacuum residue tower, fluid catalytic cracker unit, main fractionator. Okay, and other pallets like a liquid extractor. So when you are having a liquid extraction column, you can model that in a rigorous way by using this LLE extractor. So it performs the liquid extraction based on the separation of the phases. Okay, specifically based on the aqueous phases. We should have the aqueous phases, right? And other pallets like a hydrocyclone, liquid hydrocyclone. Then we have the precipitator, crystallizer, vacuum filter, baghouse filter, and cyclone separator. So for solid separation, we have the cyclone separator, and there is also simple solid separator. Like it act as a sieving operation you can do using this simple solid separator. Now this is regarding this separator, those are which are available in the HYSYS software. Now let us move to the columns into this ASP.NET Plus software. In the ASP.NET Plus, we have a different tabs, different columns. You can see it's not a separator, these are just columns. Okay, in ASP.NET HYSYS, they gave the name like a separator. It may contain a liquid separator, it may contain solid separator, or different types of operation like crystallizer also. But here only the columns are included. Okay, the separator section is different. This separator section does not include the distillation columns. It contains simple separator like vapor liquid separator. Then we have this three-phase separator, VLL, vapor liquid separator, right? Like a decanter. There is also another decanter over here. So we have the two liquid phases. Okay, model decanter, two liquid phases with no vapor phase. It may contain three phases, but it should not contain three phases. It is for the only two phases, and that should be also liquid. Okay, so two liquid phases and this is used for the three phases: vapor, one single vapor phase, and two liquid phases. And rest of the other two columns, those are component splitter, like a component separator based on the split fraction, right? And here we have the uh, separator. So based on the two outlet component separator, separates components into two outlet stream based on the flow rates as well as purities. Okay. So for simplicity, I will just do this simulation. I will take the flash separator. Now this flash separator, it will have a two outlet streams, vapor stream as well as liquid stream. I will connect this feed stream to this tap, this flash drum. So it acts as a flash drum. In Treble, you might have studied about the flash distillation. Okay, the same calculation it will do, like a bubble point temperature, pressure, dew point temperature, pressure, and it will separate based on the what is there in the inlet. So just hold on for 2 minutes. So here is some issues are there. Just hold on for 2 minutes. Okay, we'll continue. So here, so we have provided liquid stream as well as the vapor stream. Okay. So what we have to provide the additional data. So in order to have the calculation for the flash calculation, you have to provide the additional data. If I go to the separator tab, so in the separator tab, again, you can see the same details. So those are required for as that of your stream. The same details are provided. Okay, those are necessary. Like you can provide the temperature, we can provide the pressure, you can provide the duty, and you can provide the vapor fraction. So either of these things you have to provide at least two in order to complete the degree of freedom. Okay. So for simplicity, I will add the same temperature and same pressure. Okay, there is no delta P I will consider over here. And on the left hand side, you can see it is all the data is provided. So I can run the simulation. So results are available. I can see the results. If I go to the block, separator, results. So I will get the results tab over here. So we have not provided any heat, any external heat. There is the temperature, there is the pressure, and there is no delta P also. Okay. It will do this just simple calculation based on the data we have provided. So what we can guess that there is no vapor stream. Okay, if I look at the mass flow rate of the vapor stream, so I can click on this modify. If I go to the modify tab and click on this mass flow rate. So as you can see, the vapor flow rate is 0 and the liquid flow rate is 1000 kg per hour. So here is unit for this. So it's 1000 kg per hour. It means that all the liquid, it means that it is a subcooled liquid. All the liquid goes into this liquid stream. There is no vapor. Okay. So if I try to change the details, change the input feed stream data, if I make it to like something like a 10% of vapor, so how I can make the 10% of vapor? I will ask the heater to change the phase of the input stream to 10% to create a 10% of vapor. Okay, so how we can do that? Go to the heater tab. Here, instead of mentioning either of the quantity, I can mention the vapor fraction. Okay, I can mention the vapor fraction. So here, vapor fraction I have selected, and the tab at the top is deactivated. So temperature tab is deactivated. We can input the vapor fraction. So let us consider it is having a 10% of the vapor fraction. It will create, heater will create the 10% vapor fraction in the outlet. Okay, and as per that, it will calculate how much of energy that is required, and it will calculate also the temperature. So for 10% of the vapor and a liquid, 90% liquid at saturated condition, so what will be the temperature? Okay, I will run this tab. Now I can first of all look at the heater results. So let's convert this unit in terms of kilojoule per hour. So it's no more 1,50,000 something. It got 4,20,000 kilojoule per hour. Okay, and the outlet stream vapor fraction also been changed. How it is changed? How we can see that? Click on the vapor fraction over here, this tab over here, or you can individually go to this tab, product tab, and you can look at the results for the product stream. So outlet stream contains 10% of a vapor fraction, right? 10% of vapor fraction. But after going to the flash drum, there is again no vapor, and there is all the stream, the fluid, all 1000 kg get converts into the liquid phase, and there is only one liquid outlet from that column on that flash drum. So what I can do, I can why it is done so? Because I have specified here for the drum temperature and pressure. So I have specified the temperature as well as pressure. Okay. So if I specify, because if you see, in order to achieve this temperature and pressure, it has considered some kind of a duty. Okay, it's minus 17262 kilocalorie per second. So why this duty is there? In order to cool the vapor fraction, 10% of vapor fraction, to cool it, to make it to liquid phase, and from the saturated condition to the 70 degrees Celsius, it has to again extract the heat. So that amount of heat is this much. So 17262 calorie per second. Okay. Now, instead of doing this, so what I will ask to this palette, that is separator palette, let us change this duty to 0. Instead of pressure, instead of mentioning pressure, or other word, I will calculate the temperature. So I will specify the duty, and I will ask the software to determine the temperature. Okay. So this is the same as you see in the thermodynamics book, that is the Van Ness and Smith book, that how to calculate the bubble point temperature, bubble point pressure, dew point temperature, dew point pressure. In the same way, it will calculate these things. Okay, so this is got converged, and after converging, you can see that the duty. Okay, so there is no duty. And click on this. So the heat duty is 0, and the flow rate of liquid as well as vapor has been changed. The fraction that I have provided, it is based on the molar, so molar fraction, molar vapor fraction, and these flow rates are the mass flow rates. That's why you can't see it is a 100 kg per hour, and it's not a 900 kg per hour. Okay. So vapor, it's a total vapor, it's a vapor fraction. So this window is a vapor fraction. It's a molar vapor fraction. And we have this vapor flow rate of 119 kg per hour and a liquid flow rate of 881 kg per hour. And the pressure is same. Okay. Pressure is same. It's 1.9 bar. It is rounded to the first digits, that is the 2 bar. Here it is considered. So I can ask the Aspen Plus to change the digits also. Okay, it's 1.9 now. And you can look at the temperatures. I will remove this. You can look at the temperature. So temperature is no more, it's not a 70 degrees Celsius. So after changing the phase, to 10%, the percentage of the phase become 10%. We have the vapor fraction of temperature of the stream is 95. Temperature is 95. The pressure is same. Here inlet and 2 outlets, the pressure is same. Only the temperature has been changed after the heater. Okay. And we do not provide any duty to this heat exchanger, to the separator. It means that for this 1.9, for the specified pressure, it has calculated how much of vapor rate will be there and how much of liquid flow rate will be there. Okay. We can look at the results after going to, you can go to the separator tab and move to the results over here. And you can look at all the details, those are provided. Okay, so this is a simple simulation. We will cover, we will let you know what are the other palettes and what are the other things are available into this software. Okay, so we have covered the separator, we have covered the heat exchangers. Now let us move to the reactor. In chemical engineering, reaction engineering subject, most of you teach only three types of reactor: plug flow reactor, continuous reactor, and batch reactor, right? Sometimes this plug flow reactor can be called as the packed bed reactor and by other names also. Okay. Now, in the ASPAN, HYSYS as well as plus, we have the different types of reactors. Okay, we have the different types of reactors. Of course, this continuous reactor, stirred tank reactor is there. There is also plug flow reactor, and along with the plug flow reactor, there are other reactors are also there. Okay, other reactors are also there. So what are those other reactors? Other reactors are used in the petroleum refineries, as well as in thermodynamic calculations, like you must be knowing the Gibbs-free energy minimization. By using this Gibbs-free energy minimization, you can tell whether the reaction is possible or not. Okay. Then we have the equilibrium reactor. So here you can see there is a Gibbs reactor. So in the Gibbs reactor, you can calculate the outlet streams, whatever the outlet streams are there, in the state of the phase as well as chemical equilibrium. So this model is based on the minimization of Gibbs free energy as you do in the thermodynamic calculations. So based on the thermodynamic calculation, so you can tell whether the reaction is really possible or not. Okay. Then we have the conversion reactor. So in the conversion reactor, we can directly give the conversion, like when you are having A plus B gives rise C. If you know the conversion of A, let us consider it is 60%, you can provide the data into this palette, into this HYSYS software, ask the software to convert the reactant A 60% and calculate the outlet composition based on this conversion, based on the A conversion. So you must be knowing the idea, you must be having the idea of extent of reaction. So the HYSYS uses, it converts the conversion in terms of extent of reaction, right? So extent of reaction, because conversion is different for, maybe different for different reactants and products, but extent of reaction is same for all the species. Okay. So we have this conversion reactor, then there is the equilibrium reactor. So here calculated based on the reaction equilibrium. Okay, like it may contains a chemical as well as physical equilibrium, and based on the input that you give, based on the input that you give, based on that you can calculate the equilibrium reactor as well as the outgoing composition. Okay. Now there is the yield reactor. Based on the yield of a particular reaction, you can model the reactor. In the reaction engineering, you know how to calculate the selectivity. You can calculate the yield of the various reactions. So here, in a similar way, you can use this reactor, and based on this, you can calculate the outgoing composition. So this model reactor actually does the calculation based on the rigorous model, and based on the shift. It's called as the shift and yield reactor. And rest of the other reactors, so what you see, the rest of the other palettes, so those are all petroleum refinery related. Okay. Isomerization, alkylation, neutralization, catalytic reformer, hydrocracker, fluid catalytic cracking. So all these are the petroleum refinery related reactors. So if you are modeling this petroleum unit operations and processes, so HYSYS software is very good, even though Plus is very competitive for modeling refinery operations also. So HYSYS is dedicated for petroleum refineries and hydrocarbon industry. In the Aspen Plus, we can model various data, various components or various industries simulations like pharmaceutical, specialty chemicals, fine chemicals, petroleum refineries. So Plus is more versatile as compared to HYSYS. Okay. Similarly, in the Aspen Plus also, we have the reactor section, like a CSTR is there, plug flow reactor is there. We have Gibbs reactor, so it works on the principle of Gibbs free energy minimization. Then we have the equilibrium reactor. There is the yield reactor. You know the yield of each reaction. You can input the yield of each reaction and you get convert the pallet or the yield reactor. And there is a stoichiometric reactor. So what is this? Stoichiometric reactor based on the conversion. Like in the HYSYS, we have the conversion reactor. Here it is the conversion reactor. In the Plus, the same reactor is there, but its name is different. It's a stoichiometric reactor. So when you know the fractional conversion or the extent of reaction of species, then you can run this reactor and you can get the output from this reactor. Okay. The advantage of Plus is that it is having a batch reactor. HYSYS does not have the batch reactor. Aspen Plus have the batch reactor. Okay. So we can model batch or a semi-batch reactor with a rate controlled reactions. Now I would like to tell you here, highlight that when you are having a reaction rates, so you can model by using these three reactors: CSTR, plug flow reactor, and batch reactor. Here reaction kinetics is not required. For rest of the other reactors, kinetics is not required. Kinetic data is not required to specify. Okay. For CSTR, plug flow, and batch reactor, kinetic data is required. Okay. Excuse me. Now, rest of the other things, those are auxiliary. Mainly, we have covered the reaction, we have covered the mass transfer operation, and we have covered the heat transfer operations. Right. So, what are the other operations? I think in the morning session, this pressure changers, that is the pump and piping system, it is been covered. Along with the pumps, we have the control valves. So we can size the control valve. Okay. We have in the process dynamics and control, we have pneumatic valves, and pneumatic valve, the sizing is very required in the industry. The sizing of the control valve is very important, and based on the CV value, we can size, because the control valves are provided by the vendors, and you have to specify the details of what kind of a streams delta P is required and what is the controllability range of the process stream. So based on that, the control valve is sized. So in the Aspen Plus and HYSYS software, you can size the control valve based on the CV value. Okay, control valve value. Here the sizing can be done based on the kind of output required and the fittings, those are there in the downstream and upstream. Okay. So relief valve also you can model pressure relief valve for safety purpose. Then we have the compressor and expander, and along with that we have the piping hydraulics. Okay, we have the piping and hydraulics. In the piping and hydraulics, this is a mixer and this is a T. The mixer, we can add multiple streams and we can have a single output stream. There will be multiple inlet streams and there will be like a single outlet stream. Okay, so this is mixer, and similarly the opposite of the mixer is a T. So we have a single inlet stream and we have the multiple outlet streams. Okay, and the rest of the other objects like a pipe segment, gas pipe. So those are used for the hydraulic calculations. If you would like to calculate the delta P across the pipe length, okay, then you can calculate take the pipe segment. You can use this gas pipe when you are having a long distance gas pipeline. In the hydrocarbon industry, it is used. So you can use this gas pipeline. And there are other auxiliary icons are provided. So those we can connect to other software like OLGA. So Schlumberger's company, so they have this Olga software OLGA for upstream hydrocarbon industry. In that we can use this link in order to connect the upstream software, that is Olga software, to the Aspen HYSYS software. Right? Then we have this Aspen HYSYS flowsheet, subflowsheet used for the pipe network simulation tool that can be used for the steady state or the dynamic. And there is a pipe net, pipe seam in order to simulate the network of the pipeline. So these icons are used. And petroleum expert. So when you would like to blend the various crude oil or the hydrocarbon stream, then you can use this petroleum expert GAP. So it can be used for the GAP simulation with the HYSYS. Again, this is the external extension. So these are the extensions. So I forgot about the columns. In the distillation column, columns, those are available in the plus. In the Aspen Plus, those are shortcut columns, DSTW and DSTL. These are the shortcut columns. Why the name is given shortcut? It will do the calculation based on the numerical, empirical data, based on the empirical data. These are shortcut columns. Two columns, those two columns use a different method to calculate the calculation in order to calculate the number of stages. So first is the Wynne-Underwood-Gilliland method, like how it was available in the HYSYS. So it uses Underwood-Gilliland method to calculate the minimum number of stages, minimum reflux ratio, and so on. This is based on the Edmiston's method, shortcut distillation rating. So when you are having already the distillation column, for rating purpose, you can do by using the Edmiston's method. Okay. And a rigorous column. So we have this RAD-FRAC. So this is a rigorous column. It will do 2-phase, 3-phase fractionation for a single column. It can model both absorber, stripper, absorber with condenser, stripper with reboiler. It can model. So in a single column, you can do any type of, you can model any type of a column like absorber, distillation column, stripper, and so on. This is a liquid-liquid extraction column. Using this, you can model the liquid-liquid extraction. Then there are petroleum refinery related columns. So this column, multi-frac. So multi-frac, it's a rigorous column used for the crude oil distillation. So if you like to do multiple inlet streams and some hydrocarbon calculations, separation calculations, then you can use the multi-frac calculations. And here we have the shortcut distillation for the complex columns for the crude units as well as vacuum distillation unit. So for VDU and CDU, this is a shortcut column. So we have for the distillation column, we have this like Underwood-Gilliland methods column, shortcut column. So like that, we have the shortcut column for the VDU and CDU, and this is a petrofrac. So petrofrac is used for the 3 flash towers of petroleum refinery applications. You can model the VDU, CDU in a rigorous way by using this column. So why there is a difference? Different types of columns are there. Like why cannot we model the distillation column, VDU, CDU by using this? Because the kind of a method in the industrial level that is used for the refining purpose, because you know that crude oil contains thousands of components. For the thousands of components, we cannot calculate, we cannot do the kind of a component balance. So there are empirical methods, standard methods they have made available into this petrofrac column. And from the petrofrac column, you can rightly calculate the VDU, CDU, and other hydrocarbon related calculation columns, column calculations. Okay. And there is a conceptual separation. So For the distillation column, have you heard about the triangular diagrams? Not for the liquid extraction. So for the when you are having azeotrope, how you are going to look at whether it is forming azeotrope or not. So it will, this column, it will give you the details of whether the components will form azeotrope or not. It will produce you the triangular diagram, and based on this triangular diagram you can do the analysis that in which region you would like to operate the column in order to avoid the azeotrope. Okay, in order to avoid the azeotrope, like you use the methodology of a pressure swing adsorption, and if you are going to add the entrainer, then if you add the entrainer, in that case how you are going to get the non-azeotrope. Okay, so like this you can model. So this mainly covers overall your idea. Similarly, the pressure changes are there, like a pump is there, compressor is there, multi-stage compressor is there also. You can model multi-stage compressor as well as turbine by using this M compress palette. Then we have the control valve. Then pipe is there. You can model as a pipe segment. Just hold on. I'm getting one call. And this is the pipeline. For long distance pipeline, you can model by using this pipeline tool. Okay. हेलो, हाँ सर, अभी मैं, हाँ, yes, I will provide you. Currently I have been meeting. I will give you after 15 minutes. Okay. Yes, I will provide you. Okay. Yeah. Bye. Right. So these are the pressure changers. For long distance pipeline, you can use this pipeline tab. It will model long distance pipeline, multiple segment pipeline, and when we are having a different diameter across the length, as well as we have the elevation along the length of the pipeline. So that kind of long distance pipeline you can model by using this pipeline palette. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now, so pressure changers, we have considered reactors, separators, then heat transfer equipments, pipeline hydraulics, and the another tab is a manipulator. So these are the hypothetical operations. These are not unit operations, but when you do the flow sheeting, we have to specify that which stream is, for example, a recycle stream. Okay. So when you teaching the process calculation, we have the material balance with recycle, material balance with purge, material balance with makeup. Okay. So why these special type of criteria are there, like a recycle? Why cannot we do a simple type of material balance or energy balance? There is a special something we have to tell to the HYSYS software as well as Plus software, that this stream is recycle, and we have to do the material balance as per the recycle stream. Okay, it's not just simply input and output. There will be a recycle of the material, and when you do the recycle of the material, we have to specify which stream is recycle. Okay, which stream is recycle. And other operations like adjust, so those are used in order to make, like vary something to get something. Like for example, in the heat exchanger, if you like to vary the steam flow rate to achieve the process fluid temperature at a desired specification. All right, so that kind of specification you can ask, you can give to this software while doing the calculations, while doing this simulation. Then we have the spreadsheet calculations also in order to perform the custom calculation, manipulate flowsheet variables, etc. And there is a set. So why it is used set? Process variable in relation to the another variable. Like you would like to vary the steam flow rate based on the what is the value of input stream, inlet stream, process stream to the heat exchanger. So we can have some kind of relation, like you would like to vary the steam flow rate 2 times as that of the what is the current flow rate of the fluid stream to the heat exchanger. So such kind of relationship also you can give by using this set operation. There is a stream saturator. So this stream saturator gives you the details of make you the stream saturated with the water. Hydrocarbon industry. This is will be used in the hydrocarbon industry. In the hydrocarbon industry, gas is always when do you take the gas out of the well? Gas is saturated with the water. Gas is saturated with the water, and based on the humidity, you have to make the downstream calculation in such a way that the downstream calculation will take consider the flow rate of the whatever the humidity available along with the gas, and as well as the hydrocarbon gas. So both has to be considered, and later on the water has to be separated before the compression, because we have to, after the well there will be a compressor, and from the compressor it goes to the dehydration unit and so on. So when you are having hydrocarbon bare hydrocarbon mixture composition, you can saturate the stream using this stream saturator. Okay, then there is the balance outlet of the, you can balance the stream based on the mass, heat, molar flow rate. Okay, then there is a stream cutter. So you can look at all these details. These are bottom things are dedicated to petroleum refineries, like assays, product blender, then black oil translator, lumper, delumper. So those are for the hydrocarbon industries. Okay, you can provide the external models also, like so you can connect the open source software like a Cape Open to the HYSYS software. Equilibrium unit to plot the TXY diagram, PXY diagram, LLE to draw the triangular diagram, and so on. We can connect this to the live plant. We can connect this software to live plant. So by using this external data linker, we can connect the software to external plant. And ASPAN custom modeler, you can connect this to custom modeler. HYSYS you can connect to the custom modeler. So what is the custom modeler? You can produce, or you can create your own unit operation into this ASPAN custom modeler. So there is a dedicated icon, or there is a dedicated software in the ASPAN, so that can model the ASPAN. You can model, so this ASPAN custom modeler, you can create your own unit operation. Okay, and that unit operation you can connect to the HYSYS software. So for the you can calculate the Mach number when we are having a vapor or the gas stream in the pipeline. We can calculate the Mach number. For that, this extension is used. Then there is a virtual stream, and there is the petroleum hydrocarbon wellhead PQ unit operation. And based on this, you can use for a specific requirement. Okay. So there is the dynamics and control. In the process dynamics and control, you have the different types of controllers like a PID. So this is the general type of a controller that is generally used for the dynamic simulation. Apart from that, there are other controllers like ratio control, split range control, model predictive control, DMC, then selector. Then there are logic gates are also there in order to do the model the dynamic operation. Okay, so like AND gate, OR gate, off gate, on gate, and so on. So for dynamic simulation, this can be used. Okay, so for the HYSYS, we have almost covered every detail for which palette, what icon should be used. Similarly, for the ASPAN Plus, we have covered mixer and splitter. pressure changes, reactors, columns, heat exchangers, then separators. Okay. Others like these are manipulators, like multiple streams, then duplicate, then analyzer. So these are the hypothetical programs. So these are the programs. It will just make you some mathematical model available. For example, you can input, you can provide the transfer function. Okay. So this transfer block, so you can provide the transfer function for the dynamic simulation that can be available. For solid separation, solid operation like a crystallization, you can use this tap crystallizer. Then there is a crusher. You have this Bond's law, Rittinger's law, and so on. You can calculate the energy requirement based on the available input feed as well as output grinding size that is required. This is a crusher operation. Then the screening is there. So model solid operation based on the screen. What will be the undersize, what will be the oversize, so that you can do using this screen. Then we have the solid wash, single stage solid wash. So it acts as a washer with some kind of a solvent, maybe usually aqueous solution. So we can do the this kind of a modeling simulation, single stage solid washer by using this S wash. Then there is a CCD, multi-stage wash. This is a single stage wash, and this is a multi-stage wash. Generally, it is used for the counter current decanter process, multi-stage solid washer and counter current decanter. There is a dryer, okay. Then there is a granulator, and like a spray dryer also you can do, spray dryer, classifier. Then we have a fluidized bed, okay. For fluidization, you can use this fluidized bed. There are solid separators, cyclone, then Venturi scrubber, centrifuge. For liquid solid separation, you can use the centrifuge. And there is a drum filter, rotary drum filter, rotary vacuum filter for liquid solid separation. Then there is a cross flow filter, okay, hydrocyclone, fabric filter, solid gas separation process, fabric filter it is used. And there is an electrostatic precipitator. So for gas solid separation using electrostatic precipitation, right? And there are batch models as I covered earlier, like batch processes and batch separations. And these are the custom models that we can create in a ASPAN custom modeler, ASPAN custom modeler, and you can import that created model into either ASPAN HYSYS or ASPAN Plus. Okay. So almost we have covered all the operations, and with of limitation of time, we cannot model every unit operation. But the idea is to get enough information when to use which palette for your particular type of operation for the desired operation. Right. So for any difficulty, you can always look at the help icon over here at the top right corner. There is a question mark. So you can click on this question mark and you will get the information of any palette or any object or any kind of input that you do not understand. That information you will get over here. So this is a very large document actually, even though it shows a very limited number of folders, but this is a very large document and it contains all the details of the palette, information about the software and how to use the software and all this. So we have, because currently I was in this mixer and splitter tab, by default it has opened this mixer and splitter tab. Okay, so if I would like to see what mixture does, so then I can click and I can look at the calculations. Right. Similarly, if I would look at the columns, in that I would look at the DSTW. We can look at the details of the DSTW over here. So it does calculation based on the Wien Underwood Gilliland equations. Okay, if you'd like to see more about the specification, then flow sheet connectivity, you can go through this graph. Otherwise, you can look at the methods. What are the equations? Those are used for the calculations for minimum number of stages. And you can look at the reference also over here. So all the details are available. The thing is that you have to find out in the help tab. So I hope this session is informative to you, and if you have any question, please ask. So do you have any questions?
Participants, do you have any questions?
Okay, then we will conclude over here. Moderator madam, can you just guide us to complete
Yes,
this?
sir. Really, the session has went on well. We have a high throughput knowledge from your session, sir. Within a short span of 2 hours time, you spend a lot with a more informative and more creative about the Aspen analysis and Aspen Plus, sir. Really, it is a very grateful session for us to have this good knowledge package. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And if any doubt or any queries there, you can pass through the madam, and
Yes,
I will be happy to answer. Okay.
Yes, sir. And
So once again, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Please.
Okay, then I will leave. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay,
thank
sir.
you.
Participants, we have shared the feedback link in the chat box, and together we shared the feedback link in WhatsApp group also. Kindly please note of it, and tomorrow's session will start by 9:15 sharply with our resource person, scheduled resource person, Sai Siddharth from Xblock Technologists. We'll meet you by tomorrow morning at 9:15. Have a nice day. Participants, if you have any queries, please share us so that we can improve the session next lot with more innovative talks.